a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. 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 Yeah, I just wanna be.
Billy, man, it's your man's Conniver here representing D12 and Detroit. Special shout out to my homie MicroMike out here repping for the Detroit Lions for the great city of Detroit. Detroit versus everyone, Detroit versus everybody. You already know what it is. Much love, MicroMike. Keep doing your thing on YouTube. Keep making videos for those Lions, man. We love them. We have faith in them. One pride. Detroit love. Detroit what?
Detroit what? That's exactly it, man. It's Detroit versus everybody over here. Repping the Lions. That's what we do, folks. We got a special guest. It is the man, the myth, the legend. Another face on Mount Rushmore. We got Adam from Woodward Sports. What's going on, Adam?
Thanks for having me. I can't thank you enough.
Hey, man. We just here having fun, talking some Detroit Lions. Juicy, folks. Free agency. We're in, day 3 now? A lot of non-action regarding the Detroit Lions, except for a specific wide receiver, DJ. But before we get into that, we're going to say what's up to Jeremy, Steven, Raw Detroit, NFL Draft, Psycho, Hugh Janus, love the name, AGG, DM, Mr. Poole, Alan, Dana, Travis, Doyle, what's up to GOAT, Craig, Ferguson, 9 Drinks. Folks, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. We got 57 right now. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Woodward Sports. The link is literally attached to this chat because we want to get this Detroit Lions content out there. And Adam, he does the morning show. He's rocking it. He's killing it, man. He's giving his voice heard. Different approach than what we've seen from Legacy Media. Trying to give a local approach, and that's what it's all about. Adam, man, free agency. What do you think so far, man? We got one guy right now. One guy that was opposite of being a Detroit Lion. That's DJ Chark. What do you think about this signing?
It's the right move. I was one of the people pushing for Allen Robinson about, 10 and a half, 11, 12 million a year. He ended up getting 15 from the Rams. But the one-year deal with Chark comes with limited risk. And you said it was quiet. There weren't enough moves. Yeah, I like it. It's steady. It's calm. There's nothing going on that's crazy. And I actually like that because for the first time in a long time, the Lions are sitting on draft capital. And when we talk about the Detroit Lions and the rebuild, your number one asset is draft capital. They have, 5 picks in the top 100. This, to me, makes all the sense in the world. A one-year deal, $12 million for DJ Chark, 10 guaranteed. Look, he doesn't play all season. All right, tough gamble. I'm not going to kill Brad Holmes for it. I think it's a good move, big body wide receiver. You pair him with TJ Hawkinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds. I'm starting to like where the offense is going, and who can forget one of the better offensive lines in the NFL and a backfield where it doesn't really matter who's running the ball. They're probably going to be successful.
Absolutely, man. Hashtag facts. Everything you say there, I concur. Let me know in the comment section. Grade the signing, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know. Spam it with those letters. I want to see you guys think. What grade do you give it, Adam, for you, for DJ Chark?
It's not an A because the ankle does concern me. You're not sure how he's going to play. But look, this is a guy that offers your offense a strategic advantage. If you don't have a big-bodied wide receiver, teams are going to be able to cover the intermediate, short routes much more capably, and they can really look to TJ Hawkinson. And now that you have a DJ Chark, you're essentially giving Ben Johnson the opportunity to, which matchup do I want to take advantage of week by week? Am I just going to pound the rock? Am I looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown? Like every single week, and I really expect this from the Detroit Lions this year, they're going to be looking to expose matchups, and that's coaching. To be honest, Mike, I can't recall the last time we've had that opportunity, or even a team on offense at least, where you're looking at, all right, well, I can do this on Sunday, and then next Sunday I can do this, and I have a multitude of ways that I can hurt the opposing team. We can run the ball on first, second, and third down. You have backs that can catch out of the backfield. You have a young premier tight end that, yes, is frustrating and hasn't really reached his ceiling yet, but he is a viable threat when healthy. You now have a big-bodied wide receiver on the outside that gives Josh Reynolds a lot of space, and now Amon-Ra St. Brown. Look, it may not be an all-star team, but it's a damn effective squad, and I think it's an A- signing. I think it fills their concerns with how are we going to game plan week to week, and the Chark signing, I think it's a home run.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. The reason we needed that number one guy is to open it up for the rest of the players on the field. Amon-Ra St. Brown was getting it done without really a number one guy. Now what can he do with having someone there that's going to demand attention? TJ Hawkinson, we all knew that Goff was going to throw it his way when he was healthy last year. So did defenses. Well, guess what? Now he'll get a little more separation. And, of course, the most important part of this offense is running the football. Having a guy like that, it's going to make it a little bit better. The safety will have to maybe stand back instead of coming up forward to stop Swift or to stop Reynolds. Whoever we have in that running back, I love the signing. I am issue with the injury history. We'll see how it works out. Now, he talked today. He said he's running. He's not fully healthy, though, not doing his cuts. I think he should be good to go for training camp. And if he can stay healthy, it should be a slam dunk. But if he does get injured, it could be an issue. Do you think that now that we have a DJ Chark, that we still go into this draft and look to get a wide receiver?
I think the intention always was to get a wide receiver, especially they signed a one-year deal with Chark, right? So it's not a long-term commitment. But what the Chark signing does is it gives them flexibility. They're not under pressure to select a wide receiver at 32, at 34. And if you go back a few weeks, I mean, there was serious conversation that the Lions should consider trading up from 32 to 22, 18 possibly, trying to get one of the premier wide receivers. Now that pressure's not there, and you kind of let the board come to you. And if you've noticed anything with Brad Holmes, is one of the best currently in the NFL at letting the board come to him, letting Penei Sewell come to him, not trading up to Atlanta. And when I think of the wide receiver position right now, what I see is he can take one at 32, 34, 66, 97 when he wants to. He won't be forced by the board. He won't be pressured by teams, and he won't be pressured by the roster he has. So Chark gives him that flexibility. And what I expect is if he takes a receiver at 32 and 34, it's because he can't pass on it, not because he needs him.
And see, folks, that's the reason why we have Adam on here. He knows what he's talking about. He has a show. It is 8 in the morning, and it goes all the way till 10. Monday through Friday, freaking epic, and where you can get your information that's actually good information. It's shocking. Sometimes you don't get fully that, and I 100% concur. Take your wide receiver. If there is a good one that falls at 32 or 34, we know how deep this wide receiver class is. One may even fall in the third round, even to the third round pick. I have no problem with that, even that we added DJ Chark. Now, I know a lot of the fan base is a little upset that the Detroit Lions have not spent a lot in free agency. Literally, we're just re-signing our own guys. Do you think that there's still players on the market that we could get to help our team? We do need some help at the safety position. We do need some help at corner. It looks like they may be looking for a veteran there. Is there any specific player you would say the Lions should target? Or do you think just no more spending, just do little depth players?
Depth is probably the way to go. I'm not interested in giving away top-tier dollar. I know Lions fans are frustrated, but to be honest, you can't. We're having different conversations now because if I told you, do you prefer the Jacksonville strategy or Detroit? I think a lot of people are going to be a lot more comfortable with what Detroit's doing right now. Detroit doesn't need to commit a lot of money right now. I think it's the wrong move. Next year, the salary cap gets better, and it gets even better the year after that. And it's kind of fitting the timeline of when you need to make a decision on quarterback. So, yeah, there's no pressure to me. If they want to go out and get secondary help, look, that's fine. They're going to be able to do that in the first or second round if they so choose to. There's some players in this draft, and a lot of people are excited. Obviously, everybody does the mock draft simulators now. That's a whole thing. But at the end of the day, if they go out for depth, I think that's the right move. And, I think a big part of this equation is we're able to have a nice conversation because Brad Holmes is in charge. And a lot of people, I think, well-deserved. He's earned a lot of trust in this town. Trust at a position in that front office that Let's be honest. I don't think anybody's ever felt good, maybe since probably the mid-'80s to early '90s, about the front office.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've had some terrible front offices. Matt Mayhew. He was good at getting free agents, but I felt like the draft he missed quite a bit. And I think for a franchise like the Detroit Lions, patience is something that we need to have, even though it's difficult because we've been waiting since 1954. I mean, we've been waiting for a long time, but my philosophy has always been you build a team through the draft. That's how you get better. If you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, they showed it this past season that if you can get these young players that can contribute, you're not paying high dollar for these contracts, the team can last. And that is the best way to go. And with the draft picks that we currently have, 9, probably get more if they trade out, you can really start to feel pieces defensively. You can get some pieces offensively, maybe a backup tackle as well. We need a tight end. I think that's the best route to go. I do think that we need to get probably a free agent safety. I'm a little bit worried there. Doesn't necessarily have to be a high-priced guy just because I'm afraid of Will Harris. I don't like Will. I'm not a big fan of Will Harris. I personally don't think they're going to go safety at 2. They could get a Jakeem Brisker, at 32 or 34. But what if one of these guys, like a Tracy Walker or that safety they draft, gets injured? Then you're back to Will Harris.
Yeah, depth is a concern, but I love that you used the Cincinnati Bengals as an example because you talked about a core foundation. And when you build a core foundation through the draft, what that allows you to do is go out and sign an edge rusher like Hendrickson. It allows you to bring in secondary help. And you can spend big money and not really be concerned about, am I going to be able to keep my franchise quarterback? Am I going to be able to keep my premier stud wide receiver? Well, you don't have to worry about that because you have them on rookie contracts. It is the most valuable thing in the NFL. And yes, I'm one of those people. I am very impatient. In theory, I get frustrated because I feel the NFL is a league full of parity. Every 2 to 3 years, you should be able to field a much better team than what you had 2-3 years ago. You're rewarded in the NFL for having a bad roster. And you're allowed to pick higher and higher in the draft. And here we are. Everyone knows the story. I'm not going to bring up the same old story for the last 58 years right now, but the deal with the Lions. So yes, patience is important, but I think fans will be more inclined to buy into this idea of patience because Brad Holmes is delivering. And that is something, again, that this town is not used to for the Detroit Lions, of having a competent GM. That is a first. Is Dan Campbell the man? Is he the guy? Look, he's got to win football games at the end of the day. Like, I can like him all I want. He's a great dude, but that doesn't matter. So, yeah, by year 3, year 4, you're going to know what you got in Dan Campbell. And if the time comes that he is the guy, well, great. You're going to be winning a lot of football games, Detroit. If he isn't, you're going to be losing. And you're going to look at Brad Holmes. Has he gotten talent? Yes. All right. That means we need to look at the head coach and the quarterback. Can he get those two correct? That's going to be Brad Holmes' long-term decision-making that will change this franchise's history. Does he have the right head coach right now? And can he get the right quarterback in the future? They're going to win games with Jared Goff, but he's not a franchise quarterback.
And we're definitely going to talk about the quarterback position here. Now, obviously, there was a trade request. Mr. Baker Mayfield requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. And I don't know if you read an article by Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk, and he stated the destination he would like for Baker Mayfield to go to is with the cannibal himself, Dan Campbell, knee biter of Detroit. What do you think about his article? And I'm sure you've been asked this by fans as well.
Yeah, look, first of all, Baker Mayfield's a piece of shit. So, you don't want him being easy. You don't want him as your quarterback of your franchise. Second of all, why, this idea that we need to compare Cleveland to Detroit. Detroit is such a more historic, beautiful city than Cleveland. We don't need their waste. We don't need their sloppy seconds. Not interested. Florio, I'm not sure why the hell he put out the article. It makes no sense. Jared Goff's money just kicked in not too long ago. I want to say it was 2-3 days ago. So we're committed to that money. Why do we want Baker Mayfield? Career losing record. Career loser. Career jackass. Career I just can't stop throwing interceptions. Career I have a running back that averages 5 yards a carry, a defense that has Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, and I still can't get jack shit done. I am not interested. and Baker Mayfield. Kick rocks. I mean, that is Mike Florio. You know, it's a guy that has worked a long time in the league, and he's a well-respected journalist. But Jesus Christ, some people just put out pieces that make you want to put a goddamn bullet in my head.
Let me know in the comment section below, would you guys trade for Baker Mayfield? Why for yes and for no? Blow up the comment section. Let's do an informal poll right now, what you guys think. We got 188 in the building. Let's get to 75 likes. Make sure, and isn't Florio, isn't he a Vikings fan, though? Isn't that his team? He's always kind of dumped on the Lions, too, as well.
Yeah, that is a fair point. I mean, him and Chris Sims really dump on the Lions. It's one of the big reasons I don't even take them seriously. I mean, you have to be fair. Look, do they suck? Yeah. All right, we get it. They suck. But why don't you talk about what they're going to do to correct the situation? Why don't you talk about, well, you know what? They hit on a potential all-pro tackle. They hit on a potential all-pro wide receiver. How about we talk about that? Like, yeah, I get it. They suck. But give me something more substance outside of the same thing every goddamn day. Jesus.
Now I'm looking at the comment section, and all I see is no's. So it looks like everybody is with you.
A smart chat.
Smart chat. They're definitely rocking with you today on this one. So yeah, I've been saying this for a while. The Detroit Lions, you know, we can always wish, man, I wish we could get a Deshaun Watson, or I wish we can get this quarterback, that quarterback. But in all honesty, we're gonna have Jared Goff this year, and if they do get a quarterback at some point, it will be through the draft. I just don't believe that they're going to trade for a quarterback due to the fiscal issues. I mean, we just paid him a bonus, I think it was today, a little over $17 million, and he's got a big contract, and right now we just don't have the money from the cap space to do that. So we all can wish we can get a certain quarterback, but in all honesty, it's probably not going to happen. It's what I would say for sure. But what are we going to do at the second pick in the draft? You're like me. I think I like Aidan Hutchinson as well. I think you like Aidan Hutchinson as well. But it does feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to select Aidan Hutchinson, and that leaves Detroit with many different options. You can go quarterback, you can go safety, you can go another edge, you could go any direction. If they take Aidan Hutchinson at 1, if you're the general manager, what are you going to do?
Trade options as my priority, but to be honest with you, if I'm a GM across the league, I don't think I'm trading up to 2. I just don't see the value. I'm not taking Malik Willis at 2, but you know what? Kyle Hamilton's on the board. I'm very, very against the idea of taking Kyle Hamilton number 2 overall. Just doesn't make any sense to me. At this point, I am considering one of 3 edge rushers. I'm considering Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'm considering Trayvon Walker, and the kid out of Florida State, Jermaine Johnson. Those are the 3 I'm looking at. The kid out of Purdue, no, for me, it has bust written all over him, but maybe I'm just a big hater on Purdue right now. I don't know. I wake up sometimes, I just hate people for no reason.
It definitely happens, especially being a content creator. It happens quite a bit, folks. What about Kayvon Thibodeaux? What is your thought process on him? Do you think that he could be a bust? Do you think that he may not have that drive, or do you think that's kind of overrated of what the media is saying about him?
You know what? To be honest with you, it's tough. It is tough because this is a guy that had the option to go anywhere in the country. And he decided to go to Oregon. And I know you're an Oregon fan. I don't mean that disrespectfully. But, I mean, there are football programs like in Alabama, Georgia, where he goes there. And if he performs, he is the surefire number 1 pick no matter what. And he decided to go to Oregon for financial reasons. Obviously, the hookup at Nike, he's already publicly spoken about that. I'm not sure about Kayvon Thibodeaux. I don't know him as a person, so I'm not going to question his hunger or his will. I know he's a guy that deeply cares about his financial security. So I don't expect him not to work hard. I don't think that's an issue, but I've seen this before. I've seen it in Jadeveon Clowney. I've seen it in so many edge rushers from years past, and it is concerning. It's a concerning trait, and the reason why everybody loves Aidan Hutchinson is, you know, he's going to run through a brick wall, and he really does fit well with Dan Campbell. But if he's not an option at 1, well, damn it, honestly, maybe the ceiling isn't as high as Kayvon Thibodeaux, but I'm probably going Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker, that's a very interesting selection. I was just listening to NFL Network's mock drafts, and they feel he's going to be a top 5 pick. And if the Lions are going to go edge, it is possible they go ahead and decide to jump over Kayvon and take him. Very interesting.
There's a lot of pressure with that pick if Aidan goes 1.
A lot of pressure. The pressure is immense. It always feels like the Lions are just one pick away from getting screwed. We had the ability to get a Chase Young, but Washington's just one freaking pick ahead of us. They get it. You know, it's just, why can't we just get lucky like we did it with Ndamukong Suh, where he fell to us at 2, but now, you know, we have the ability to.
Ndamukong Suh, I didn't feel that was luck. That was Sam Bradford. That was the right choice, number 1 overall. He was so good in college. I'm not even frustrated with the Rams. Good for them, but Jamarcus Russell. I mean, we should be thankful for Calvin.
Yes.
They took Mr. 6'5", 550 pounds Zion Williamson before we ever knew who he was over Calvin Johnson. God bless you, Al Davis. Rest in peace.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the greatest moves. And Millen, he picked Calvin Johnson. I know a lot of people were mad about getting a wide receiver, but that was finally the correct one. You had to go through many other ones, but you finally got the correct one, and it was nice. 32, the Detroit Lions are sitting there. We have options. We have a linebacker need, definitely. We seen that Jalen Reeves-Maybin signed with the Houston Texans today, so we needed a linebacker. We need at safety. We need at wide receiver and quarterback. If you're the GM, you're sitting at 32, what is your approach with this pick?
My initial thought, and call me crazy, I'm thinking, who do I prefer to extend to a 5th-year option? And if there's nobody I value, well, then I'm looking for a team that's willing to trade up. I'm always looking to trade back and get more picks. But if I'm picking at 32 and I have already taken an edge rusher at 2, well, that eliminates me from an edge at 32. So I'm looking at wide receiver and I'm looking at safety because I think those are the 2 core must look at first before anything. And that's where Lewis Sign comes into play. That's where Jaquan Brisker comes into play. And if one of those 2 are available and I'm not happy with the wide receiver market, well, I'm taking a safety at 32. And that kind of bleeds over to 34 where I'm looking at a linebacker, whether it's Christian Harris, whether it's Leo Chenal, who I'm a big fan of. Then you're looking at 34 as that final piece. I do think the Lions are going to be able to get 4 starters potentially with their first 4 picks. And hell, who knows what plays out at 66? You don't know who's going to fall. But if you're at 34 or 32 and you can trade back to 40, 42, 44, I'm taking that pick. I'm taking future picks. And now I don't have the pressure to select in the first round. I'm taking the same safety likely at 34. What are the odds he gets taken with those next 2 picks? If he does, great. No problem. I'll get the other one. If he gets taken, no problem. I'll take the linebacker. So I'm walking away with what I want, but it's going to be tough to trade out of 32 if I'm all in, let's say, on a Lewis Sign or Jaquan Brisker. If they're there, it's tough for me to trade back. I'm pulling the trigger.
You know, we love mock drafts, and if you go to BetUS, that's chatsports.com/LionsBet, you can go ahead and bet on who the picks are and make a little bit of money. You put in the promo code LIONS125, you can get a 125% deposit bonus. Easy way to make extra cash. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and drop $5,000 on a pick. I would never say that, but $5 lottery ticket money, why the hell not? Go ahead, chatsports.com/LionsBet, put in the promo code LIONS125. I'm with you, man. I'm BPA. We have many needs, and I'm not sitting there and I'm not doing a specific player at that spot. I have to have who is the best. If somehow a Lloyd falls or a Nakobe Dean, we've seen that the Detroit Lions were much representative at Georgia Pro Day. It's really important to just get the best player. And I'm not forcing a pick on anything. I'm not doing it. I'm just taking, I know we need a linebacker. I know we need at safety, a need at wide receiver. But if there is a BPA at one of those positions, I'm just going to take the best player available. If we did like last year, Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Ali McNeil, we took him last year. Right after we took Levi and Uzurike, a lot of people questioned that pick. We just took a defensive tackle. That worked out really well. So I always believe in that philosophy. Just go with it. Just go with it.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'd move heaven and earth to find a way to trade back and end up with Devin Lloyd. I am I am on the Devin Lloyd train. I think he is such a phenomenal specimen. It reminds me a lot of O.J. Mayo coming out of college. I think he's going to be an immediate impact player in the NFL, but we're selecting at 2. And if I'm Seattle, I'm not trading up 7 spots. If I'm Washington, I'm not trading up 9 spots. I don't think any team outside of Carolina is going to go for a quarterback. And why would I trade up to 2 when I can trade up to 4 or 5, especially to 4 or 5, because, well, the Jets have 2 first-round picks in the top 10, and so do the Giants. So they will be more willing suitors, and it won't cost me as much than trading up to the Lions, who are going to drop 9 spots. So if I'm a GM, trading up to 2, I don't see it happening. It's a really difficult situation for the Lions to be in. But again, I do think Brad Holmes will make the right decision. He's earned that trust at least.
Is there a quarterback in this year's draft? And everyone talks about how bad the quarterbacks are, regardless of spot. We're not just talking about a first-round quarterback, but is there somebody out there that you think, man, the Lions should take a look at and maybe draft this guy, whether it be someone in the 6th round like a Skylar Thompson or someone earlier like a Desmond Ridder? Is there someone that catches your eye that you feel that can help the Lions out, not just this year, but I'm talking years down the road? Because you look at Tim Boyle and David Blau, they're not the future.
Yeah, look, I mean, at 32 and 34, you're trying to get a starter on the field. At least that's my philosophy. It's tough for me to take a quarterback there. But again, if one falls, you have a tough decision on your hand. You really do, especially at 32, because you get that 5th-year option, and it makes taking a quarterback there that much more valuable. But Malik Willis, I want to say Malik Willis, but I know he will not be there by the time the Lions are selecting. So I'm not even going to consider him because, look, he is a freak specimen. He has a rocket arm. Can he teach accuracy? I do believe so. Can he teach touch, though? That's the concern with him. He's mobile, he's nice, but I think Kenny Pickett's the guy at 32, 34, where if he's on the board, and you know what? That's a guy that Brad Holmes is all in on. I'm looking at Kenny Pickett, but again, does he survive up to 32, 34? I don't think so. So I'm really looking at pick 66. Could that be Desmond Ridder? Could that be possibly, I mean, everyone talks about the kid out of Nevada, big, strong, Carson Strong, to be exact, no pun intended. But I don't know. I don't think there's a quarterback outside of Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis that are worth taking a chance on. But the Lions are picking at the beginning of the draft and at the end of the first round, so it's kind of difficult to say which one you're going to end up with.
Folks, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Woodward Sports. Again, the link is attached to the chat. And if you're watching after the fact, I will attach it to the video. It'll be the pinned comment, just like it's the pinned comment in the chat right now. But guess what, folks? It is time for you to shine. Get your questions answered. It is the mailbag segment where you guys run the show. You put in the question. You can ask me personally. You can ask my guest here. We will get at it. If I miss your question, hey, I'm sorry I missed it. There's 243 of you in the building. That's just what it is. Just repost it, and I will try to get at it. So let's get these questions started for the mailbag segment. All right, man. I love this part. I love this part because I have no idea what they're going to say. They're going to say all sorts of crazy stuff, and that's what it's all about. You got to use the hashtag, though, folks. And ask the guest. You want a chance to ask him, go. What round we taking a wide receiver? What do you think we're getting one at?
I say they take a wide receiver 3rd round, 66.
3rd round, 66. Okay, you know what? I'll say, dang, that's actually a good one. You know what? I'm going to say they're going to take round. I'll say the 2nd round. I'll just go with that one. I'll go with that one. We got from the Dern here. Would taking Jermaine Johnson at 2 be a reach?
It's a risk more than a reach. I don't think any of the edge rushers outside of Aidan Hutchinson and I guess you could say Kayvon Thibodeaux. I mean, outside of those two, they're all a reach, really, in theory. But it's a risk because if Aidan goes number 1, and you decide to take Jermaine Johnson or, like I said, Trayvon Walker over at Kayvon Thibodeaux, and then he works out, I mean, this is a GM's job on the line we're talking. This is the future of a franchise. It's not a reach. It's a risk. It's a big risk.
Question right to you says, is Tyndall from Georgia worth the 34th pick?
No, Yes and no. No, the answer is no. I don't believe so. You're not taking him at 34. You have to look at your positional needs. And depending on who you want at 32 is going to dictate if he's even an option at 34.
Now this one, I want to piss off people with Jordan Davis at 2. I think that would pretty much make a lot of people angry if they took Jordan Davis at 2.
Yeah, it's fucking people like this that I have fucking blood pressure medication. These motherfuckers.
Oh,
Jordan Davis at number 2. God damn it, man. God damn it. Why? What did I do? All right? What did I do? What did Mike do? Huh? We're just here trying to have a conversation, and you want to, my blood pressure is going up right now. I can't deal with this. Jordan Davis at 2. Jesus Christ. Kill me now, God.
Drake London, if he fell to 32, that would be amazing. I don't know if that's possible.
You take him. I don't think that's possible, but that's amazing.
Yeah, I love Drake London. He's my favorite wide receiver in this year's class. I just don't think he falls there. But no doubt, I'm with you. You just got to grab it. What quarterback would you take at 32, 34, Matt Corral or Sam Howell by Mitch McConnell?
Matt Corral, because I rather him bust so hard where I just look at the pick and I'm disgusted than to take Baker Mayfield 2.0 and get stuck with him throwing 20 interceptions a year and having to say, oh, well, at least he can throw for 3,800 yards. Yeah, please, God, no.
Okay, so Nick says, let's take Malik and trade for Baker. Well, I think that would be a punch-you-in-the-face moment. I think that would be eating chainsaws, taking battery acid, and putting it in my eyes if they went that route. But good
Faith in
one
the front
there.
office if that ever happened.
I would think Brad Holmes would fire himself. Let's see here. No Jordan Davis at 2, but at 32. Would you take Jordan? I don't think he's going to fall 32, Jordan Davis. He could be gone.
Yeah, again, the lines are picking at the beginning of the first
Yeah.
round and at the end of it. You're not in a position where you're picking like 2 and 18 where that's a legitimate conversation. At 32, I mean, everyone who's anyone is likely going to be off the board. And, you know, my theory is, can the Detroit Lions evolve and draft someone like a TJ Watt at 30? And I'm not talking about the position. I'm talking about the caliber player. And I feel finally with Brad Holmes, I think they have the ability to do that.
What do you think of Sky Moore, the wide receiver out of Western? He's a high riser, local guy. What do you think about him? Where do you think he gets drafted?
I mean, PFF has him ranked the 34th best player. To be honest with you, I'm not touching him till the 3rd round.
I'm kind of with you. I think there's other wide receivers that would be sitting there at 2, and I just don't think he's going to go that high. I'm with you there. We got a super chat, $10 from Travis the Goat Doily. Would you guys draft George Pickens or David Bell?
This question. That's a great question. I'm taking Pickens all day, actually.
I like Pickens. He showed a lot. David Bell's pretty good. I think after the combine, it maybe hurt him a little bit, but I think Pickens for sure. I think got a little bit better there. Here we go. We got Spirit of Detroit podcast says he's going to you. You applaud the Lions for playing it safe in free agency, but you flip-flop on quarterbacks in the draft. Your analysis of Malik Willis was completely wrong, by the way. Hope, watch film next time.
He is a freak athlete. He's got a mega arm. He's not the most accurate. And can he develop the touch needed in the NFL? I think that's fair.
Let's see here. Lions, Adam, who should be getting love in the draft? Who isn't? Okay, so who is a guy you think that should probably be getting a little more love that's not being talked about?
Definitely got to be Devin Lloyd. I am so high on Devin Lloyd. I think, you see him going anywhere from top 10 to top 20, falling to 32 in some simulators. You just don't know. He's not getting much press nationally. Devin Lloyd is a guy I'm all in on.
I was looking at Devin Lloyd week 4 last year, and I said, this is my favorite linebacker in this year's draft. I said, there's no way he would fall to 32. And then lately I'm seeing mock drafts where he's fallen to that far. I say, if that happens, you have to run up and put in the ticket to get this guy.
Freaking on Woodward if he falls to 32.
Yeah, I think I'll fall out of my chair because he would be a definite game changer for the Detroit Lions. And not only does it fill a need, but we haven't had a good linebacker since DeAndre Levy. And before that, Spielman. So We need to get that enforcer, and that's what he is.
Yeah, that is a very good point, actually. It's been such a long time since this team has had a legitimate linebacker. I mean, Boss Bailey for what, year 2, and that was it?
Mm-hmm. We need to have – that's something we've been getting destroyed in the middle of the field, and we need to solidify that spot, or it's just going to keep happening and happening and happening. And we've seen when you have a
that
really
defense
good line –
was pretty good when you had him.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And if we can get a Lloyd, I think the defense would imagine him, too, with Derek Barnes together. Young combination, helping out Derek Barnes. I think that would be solid. I think that would be very solid. Would you trade to the Giants for 5 in their 2nd and 5th? Would you trade 2 for the Giants' 5th, 2nd, and a 5th? Okay, so we go down to 5. We get their 2 and a 5th. God, that would be – it would be close. What do you think?
That's a tough decision.
Yeah.
I love the idea. My concern is I lose control of who I can select at 5.
Yeah, that would be my concern as well. But getting another 2nd-round pick, such a deep class, specifically in defense, it would help out. It would be a tough one. That would be a hard call. You're still getting less than generally what you would get in a normal draft, but there's just not that number 1 guy. There's not that quarterback.
There's not a quarterback. That's the thing. There's no quarterback. You try to trade up in last year's draft from 5 to 2, you're giving up 2 future first-round picks minimum.
100%. You have to take less this year. You have to take less. $10 super chat from my guy, Travis the GOAT. Would you draft Nick Bonitto? And if so, what round?
34, depending, again, how the board shapes out, what you do at number 2, and 32 is really going to dictate that. But he's a guy I don't see being available after 40, 42. So, I mean, unless you're able to trade back, I don't see that happening. And if you're taking an edge at 2, well, that kind of eliminates you from taking an edge rusher because you just signed Charles Harris. So that's kind of over and done with. You're good in terms of depth at the edge position.
Folks, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. We are 3 away from 100, 271 in the building. I will get to your question if I get to it. Just repost it if I miss it. Did the Lions do poorly in free agency? I'm going to say, look, a lot of people wanted to spend a lot of big money in free agency. I understand the frustration. I am frustrated at some parts, but at the same time, just like Adam was saying earlier, do you want to be the Jacksonville Jaguars and throw a boatload of money at players who are not getting paid? They gave a wide receiver 3/2 number 1 money. I don't want to see that anymore. We did that with Trey Flowers. We've done that with selected free agents in the past, and it's hurt us for years down the road. We literally just released Trey Flowers, and ever since we had him, it hurt our books. I don't want to make that same mistake. I think it's really important to build through the draft and get selected free agents. So as I am a little frustrated maybe with the lack of getting maybe a safety right now and signing a David Blau, I'm not upset with not getting every single player like an Allen Robinson, going out, getting a Von Miller, paying all this money because it's just eventually going to hurt your team. What do you think about that?
100%. That's the mentality you have to have. Listen, patience, a little bit. Patience over complacency. Depth is a key need right now, and I don't think the Lions are doing poorly in free agency. I'm not interested in paying Christian Kirk $21 million a year, even though if you actually look at the contract, they're probably not going to end up paying him that money, but it was enough for him to leave the situation in Arizona. He'll probably see half of it guaranteed, and if he performs well, he'll get the whole damn thing.
100%. Are you guys upset the Lions are at least trying for Deshaun Watson, which I know we don't have a shot? First off, he has a no-trade clause, and he will not be coming to the Detroit Lions. That's not where he wants to go. And to get a Deshaun Watson, you'd probably have to give up three first-round picks, maybe a second-round pick, and a couple players. And with a team that's in a rebuild mode, I just don't think that would be part of the plan. Plus, you'd have to get rid of Jared Goff, who's going to kill you in the cap. So I'm not upset because he wasn't going to come here anyways. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, I mean, Deshaun Watson was never truly an option, a realistic option. That was never going to happen. And at the end of the day, the Lions are on this roadmap. They're on this journey. And the journey gets to the point where after this season, You're either draft a quarterback in this class or you're taking one next year. When you do that, you're going to look at this football team, and if it goes in the most optimistic way, then you're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs build. You draft a quarterback, you sit them year one. Jared Goff is your Alex Smith. You have a good football team. You're winning games. And when the time comes to make the switch, you make it.
$2 super chat. How about these linebackers, Chanel Muma, Troy Anderson? I do like Chanel and Muma. I think they'll probably be there at 34 if that's a route they want to go. It just depends who else is there. I definitely would take a look at them at that spot. What about you?
Earlier, there was a question in the chat, a player that's not getting talked enough about. Anderson is definitely a guy that I'm extremely interested in, especially in the third round. That's somebody I think could be available at 97. We'll have to wait and see.
We have a big fan of you right here. That's Spirit of Detroit podcast, $5 super chat. Have you ever attempted to watch all 22 film, Adam?
I've tried. Yeah, when I have time, I do, absolutely, especially when I talk about players. Good old NFL Game Pass, baby.
Game Pass. Let's go. Hey, you can watch that, or you can watch my live when I'm watching the game go crazy. If you want to see something crazy.
That's how I first found you.
I'm sorry. We finally win. Ah, dang it. Got a question here from Draft Junkie. Lions are upset we re-signed Boyle and didn't go after a more solid backup. Look, I'm not a fan of Tim Boyle. I think Tim Boyle is a terrible quarterback. He's a bad backup. I don't want him on this team. My thing is, if we don't take a quarterback in the draft or even get one in undrafted free agent, I will be upset. That's my thing. I just don't. If Jared Goff goes down, do you think Tim Boyle's going to win a game? No.
I try to find the story where there isn't a story. I try to find what's underneath it. If Jared Goff gets hurt, this football team's going to lose a lot of football games this year. And you don't want a backup quarterback going in and messing up that draft pick. I'm telling you. They're all in on Jared Goff this season. They've already made that commitment. He goes down, hell, we'll take a top 5 pick. I'm game for it.
Ready for that top 5 pick, man. Yeah, if Goff goes down, it's gonna be a long season, folks. So we just gotta pray that he doesn't go down. I don't want another top 5 pick again.
We're actually saying that about Jared Goff.
I know. You know what's so funny is last year during the season, the first 6-7 games, I'm like, please just put in somebody else. Please put in somebody else. Then we seen Tim Boyle play in Seattle, and I remember when Goff came back, I said, please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt. And then he went down. I said, no.
It was a brutal start to the season, man. Oh, my God, especially that first game against San Francisco. The fumble, the interception. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. It was absolutely brutal. It's going to be hopefully it's going to be better this year. I'm not going to say much better. What are we doing at backup tight end? This is a big issue, and the kicker situation where we're keeping our kicker. He's still on the team. Backup tight end, I think we draft one. There's a lot of actually good depth. I've been saying this on my channel in rounds, I would say 3 through 6. Really good depth at the tight end position. You get some guys that are pretty big, 6'8", 6'9", good in the red zone. There's a quality tight ends back there if the Lions wanted to draft one. I think they should. I know a lot of people don't want to hear tight end getting drafted by the Detroit Lions. I'm not talking early. I'm talking mid to late round. What do you think?
Available free agents right now that you can go after for pretty cheap, but I think you brought up a really good point, Jelani Woods. Some of the guys expected to go in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, who knows? You're going to end up drafting a tight end or you're signing one in free agency. You have to do that. TJ Hawkinson needs a legitimate backup. If he goes down again this year, I may take a baseball bat to his knees.
I say that about Aaron Rodgers every time I see him. I said, please, somebody dress up as a ninja and take a baseball bat to this guy's knees because I'm tired of seeing him. So I feel your pain. Definitely need to get a ball bat. Definitely need to do that. Lisa, what's up, Lisa? One of my great subs. Realistically, what do you think the Lions' record will be on January 2023? Well, I'm hoping the Lions can get to 7 wins. I think 6 to 7, they have to do that. If they can't get to 6 to 7 wins, we have an issue here. because a lot of players are coming back that are healthy. Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker hopefully can actually play the whole time. Penei Sewell in year 2. TJ Hawkinson healthy. We're talking about better set of wide receivers. If we can't get to that, there's an issue. And obviously the schedule is easier, I think, this year than it was last year. What do you think about that record prediction?
I'm with you. I think 6 is the minimum amount of games they have to win for me not to chew Dan Campbell a new asshole. They have to win 6 games minimum. You have to take that progressive step. Dan Campbell and Jim Schwartz are such different characters, but they've come into the Detroit Lions in very similar situations. Bottom tier, horrible salary cap, horrible roster. All right, 2 wins for Schwartz, 3 wins for Campbell year 1. Well, Schwartz won 6 games year 2, and Dan Campbell, I would like him to win 6. I do think they can have 9 wins. Honestly, I think they're a 9-8 football team if they draft some good players, which, again, this is all coming from confidence in Brad Holmes. I think you're going to get 3 starters in the first 3-4 picks minimum. And then you look at year 3, well, Matthew Stafford was finally healthy with Schwartz. They won 10 games with an average roster, to be honest, outside of Calvin Johnson. And then you look at Dan Campbell's year 3, bro, you're going to have to contend for the NFC North. And if you can't, well, we have an issue.
Now, you just brought up former quarterback Matthew Stafford. I don't know your take on this. I haven't heard it. What did you think about the Matthew Stafford trade? Did you think it was a good idea to send him to L.A.? Do you think it was smart for Brad Holmes to do that? Or do you think that was a mistake because he went and won a Super Bowl?
No, he wasn't winning anything here. That's just the truth. The truth of the matter is for 12 years, this GM, this head coaching staff, everything that we've equipped him with was never even close to the standard that it was in Los Angeles. I was happy when he was traded. He was never going to win anything in Detroit. And that's just the unfortunate truth in it. You had a franchise quarterback. The guy was a very good quarterback. Sorry. I mean, I don't know what people expected. I was happy. You got 2 first-round picks. You got a third-round pick. I thought it was a great move. And then as we got closer to training camp, man, you just started to see Matthew Stafford, how comfortable he looked in that Los Angeles Rams uniform, how comfortable Sean McVay looked at him. And you just saw that dynamic. And you know what? Early on in the season, I said, you know what? We're fucked. They're winning a Super Bowl. And God damn it, they did it.
You know, when we traded Matthew Stafford, I thought it was really important to let people know he would not win here. I think we didn't have the type of team that L.A. had. L.A. had a really good squad, top to bottom. They were going all in. The Detroit Lions were in a rebuild mode. And I think, personally, my philosophy in Detroit for a quarterback is you need to have a different mentality. I thought Joe Burrow was perfect with Cincinnati. He had that edginess to him, smoking the cigar, kind of took on that Bengals, the losing mentality on his shoulder. I think for the Detroit Lions, the next quarterback that we get, the franchise guy, has got to have that edge to him to be able to really take it all on. He can't be the nice guy. He can't be the Joey Harrington. Stafford, he had great ability. It didn't feel like it was going to work here, and it didn't. And I think when the Lions do go that route to get their franchise guy, it's got to be that type of quarterback.
I actually don't think that's the case. I think what needs to happen is there needs to be an environment for that quarterback to succeed. Joe Burrow walked into an environment with a young offensive-minded head coach, something Matthew Stafford's never had. He had Jim Schwartz, who was a hothead and lost the locker room whenever he started yelling at them. Then we went to Jim Schwartz, who was too goddamn nice to the football team, so they never took themselves super seriously. And then we moved on to Fat Man, and we all know how that worked out. So it's going to be about what that – I know, man. Jesus Christ. It's going to – what situation this next quarterback walks into. If he walks into a Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell is the head coach people are hoping he is, well, then I don't care if he's a moxie quarterback or if he's shy. They're going to be successful because of what's around them.
Now, somebody – I forgot where the comment is. I lost it. Okay, what are your thoughts on Julius Peppers? I don't know. Sorry about that one. We need somebody.
It's whatever. What's the price? What's
that? I'm kind of with you there. I wouldn't mind it for sure, but I'm not going to overpay. But yeah, I'm with you. The price. Are you worried about getting a long-term contract for Jared Goff? Me personally, no, I'm not worried about it. When the trade happened for Jared Goff, I don't know if anybody heard, but they're also looking to get other other trades from other teams. We're talking about Carolina Panthers with Teddy Bridgewater. They even wanted to go Aaron Donald for the Rams. That was part of the initial one. So I'm not too worried about it. I think if Jared Goff gets another contract, maybe it's because he performed really well. Can he? But if he performs, I don't think he's going to get a big deal. Do you?
I think he gets extended for maybe a 1 year plus. I don't see it ever being a 3, 4, 5 year extension. That would never happen. I don't think Brad Holmes would do it. And I'm confident in the GM. I'm also confident who is around him. And you guys have to remember John Dorsey is in the ear of Brad Holmes. And this is a guy that watched the Kansas City and oversaw the transition from Alex Smith winning an appropriate amount of football games, but he wasn't the guy. Insert Patrick Mahomes. The rest is history. So, yeah, I'm feeling good about it. I think if Jared Goff can serve the role that Alex Smith did, which is take the Chiefs from meh to we're making the playoffs, we've won a division, we maybe even win a playoff game, great, good for him. I will applaud him out of Detroit. But eventually you're going to have to go and get that quarterback.
Adam Carver, think about taking BPA. If Hutchinson is taken, if we don't get a safety in free agency, would you take Hamilton over Thibodeaux? That's hard. I like Kyle Hamilton. I do. I know that Adam's not fond of taking a safety at 2. I'm all about BPA. My thing is with Thibodeaux, I'm just worried. I'm concerned. I've watched a lot of his games as being a Duck fan, and it just feels like that he's not fully there. But we got some breaking news. The Detroit Lions just signed tight end Garrett Griffin, and he was from the New Orleans Saints, so we got our tight end there. Do you know anything about this guy? I honestly don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of research.
Garrett Griffin, I'm going to imagine he is the number 2 tight end in New Orleans. I really don't know much, to be honest. I'd have to figure it out. But look, we just talked about it. There are free agents available at the tight end position, and you're going to be able to get one in the 4th, 5th, or 6th round, depending on when you needed to. I think it's a good signing. Again, we talked about it earlier. Depth, go for it. You need depth.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the depth, and it's finally someone not from Detroit. So we'll see. I definitely got to do the research on this man. I haven't heard a whole lot about him, and I apologize for that. But I'm not looking generally at second, third strings of the New Orleans Saints. That's just not my thing. That is not my thing. But, folks, we've been on for nearly an hour, and it's about time to get off. It's about that time. And before I get off, I want to give words to Adam here. What do you got to say to the folks out there? Tell them about Woodward. Tell them about your show. Tell them about everything that they may not know. Some of these guys may not know you exist. Let them know about your show.
I host the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network, 8 to 10 a.m. weekdays, Monday through Friday. Great time. It's with Jeff Ifrady and Maddie, the whole crew that we have here. It's a part of the Woodward Sports Network, which is an all-digital Detroit sports-focused network here, locally owned, operated out in Birmingham, Michigan. Extremely grateful to be a part of what we're doing here, looking to deliver Red Wings content, Lions content, Pistons, Tigers, Michigan football, basketball, Michigan State, etc. You name it. We even do high school football games during the fall. So we're all about the state. We're all about the people, the community. And if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and give us a follow, subscribe, whatever it takes.
Hey, appreciate it, man, coming on, hanging out, taking the abuse from the subscribers here. That's what it's all about, having fun.
It's all good.
Definitely, you're welcome on here anytime, man. Talk some Detroit Lions football, and we definitely get this rolling. With that said, folks, I'm going to leave you with the greatest words ever told. Adios.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't